This is Swiss and Chips, your British guide to Switzerland.
Hello and welcome to Swiss and Chips. My name is Simon.
And I'm Jo.
And today we're gonna talk about the weirdest things you saw when you moved to Switzerland. Obviously, I was born here and I can't really remember. But Jo has a few things to say when she moved here. And also we asked in our Facebook group, which is called Switzerland for English Speakers. And if you want to join, we asked these guys what they thought. And we got loads and loads of funny and good and weird answers. And then we thought, instead of just Jo talking about all her things that she has experienced, we just read out a few answers that you gave, and then we can talk about them a little bit more in detail.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, lots of the weird things that people have seen, I've also seen something kind of similar, which tells me, it's quite likely if you move to Switzerland, you might also experience this weird thing. So that's something to look forward to if you're not here yet.
Yes, exactly. So let's dive right in. How about I just read them out loud and you say it? Okay. So Celia, did I say thanks a lot to everyone who replied? So
no, you have.
Now I have. Celia, she said, when I first moved to Switzerland, I asked in my best high German for 3 Brötchen and always got 2. Then I learned they say 3. And then I got my 3 bread rolls.
You seem confused by this story, but I know exactly what she's talking about.
I don't know what she means.
Because this also happened to me. Whenever I've asked for 3 of something in High German, they always give me 2. And I say, dude, I wanted 3. And they're like, all right. And then they give you another of whatever it is. Because when we say 3, it sounds like 2. But you guys say 3. Do you get me?
Kind of.
And it doesn't help if you hold up fingers, because you guys use the thumb, but we only use the fingers. I'm making the fingers thumb signals here. Obviously, you guys can't see
I'm
them.
looking confused. Obviously, you guys can't see me.
But I'm pretty sure loads of people will have experienced this, because as soon as Celia wrote that in our group, I was like, yes, that's happened so many times, and it was so annoying.
So in German, it's 2 oder 3.
Hi, Swiss German.
Yeah, oder 2 oder 3, depending on the dialect. So it's completely different. 2 oder 2, Hochdeutsch.
Yep.
3. I don't really know where the problem is.
When we say 3, people hear 2, so they give us 2.
Do they now?
Yes.
I think if you would say 3, they would understand.
That's an actual fact.
Right. There you go. Here you can see how this is going to turn out today. Not very helpful, but probably quite funny. Lara, she said, why is there only one chip, crisps, flavor, which is paprika? Weird.
Yeah, I mean, I get her point. Obviously, there are more flavors of crisps for the Brits amongst us, chips for the Americans amongst us.
Yeah, it is. Paprika is the one.
It's the one, yeah. It's like plain, I suppose, in the UK.
No. Paprika is not plain. Paprika is paprika.
Yeah, but equivalent, one.
Oh, okay.
Like in the UK, the standard crisp would be plain.
To be honest, I think until I was, 25. No, until I was quite old, I didn't know that there are even other flavors. And we get more and more flavors only recently. Yeah, because the one crisp you had was paprika or plain, but it's from the same brand, from Zweifel.
Wow. There you go then. It's much more serious than we thought.
Yeah, it's very clear. If you choose crisps and you go to somewhere, there will always be a paprika.
Yeah, it's true. And if you go to a party or something, it will always be paprika-flavoured crisps.
Yeah, that's the one.
Luckily, I grew to love them, so.
There you go. So next, Julian, he said a gherkin in every sandwich.
Yes. Now, this is something that I have to make my point about while people are listening.
What's wrong with that? It's
everything.
Perfect.
Right. So first few months I was living here, I bought many sandwiches to eat for lunch. And quite often there was a nasty gherkin surprise in there. And I thought, this is so disgusting. What on earth?
Awesome.
Why? I mean, let's not just a gherkin, a horrible flubbery cold gherkin, a flubbery disgusting slice of cold egg, and a shrivelly slice of disgusting tomato. Tomato I could deal with because, bit of vitamins and stuff.
It's only perfect.
But egg and a gherkin, vomit. And then one time I was in a bakery and I got kind of tired of it and my German had improved slightly. So I dared to ask, is there anything else in this ham sandwich? The woman was like, no, it's just ham. And I was like, awesome. Bit in with full confidence. And I was like, gherkin, egg and tomato. If that doesn't count as something else other than ham, I don't know what does.
That's the normal thing that is in a sandwich, usually.
I learned an important lesson that day.
Here you've heard it. A Swiss sandwich usually contains a gherkin, an egg, and maybe a salad, maybe tomato. That's considered as a bit nicer sandwich. Yeah. And sometimes you will even get Hardy's white long ones called again.
Oh God, the white asparagus.
Yes.
Oh,
but the thin
like sin of sins in
Did
a
you
sandwich.
ever have that in a sandwich?
I've had everything in a sandwich.
Great.
Disgusting.
There you go. So next, May, she said Kukkelidag or Zibbelemarit in Bern.
Both of which are separate things. Perhaps you could explain to us what googly tag is. Because I was very excited when I heard about it.
Kukkelidag, I don't know if there is an actual day where you can have a kukkeli, but we have quite often that you can have a poulet, that is a chicken that is made somewhere out in the street in a wagon, and you can just pass by and buy one with some potatoes sometimes. It's quite often on a Friday or on a Saturday, so that's maybe what she means.
Yeah, it's these little like mini food trucks and they sell nice roasted chickens.
Yeah.
And there's always a set day in your neighbourhood where you can find them.
So, and Zibbelemarit is Zibbelemarit.
End of what needs to be explained. Yes. Only everything. We should do an entire another episode about the onion festival.
Yeah, it's a special event in November in Bern. It's an onion market and has some fun traditions.
And we didn't have it in 2020 because of you know what. But hopefully in 2021 that will be back and then we can do a special episode about it. It's very fun but very weird, yes.
Lots of confetti throwing and
onion flavoured treats to
and
eat.
Hammer other people on their head with a plastic hammer. Why are you laughing? That's the one.
It's true because I didn't know that kids would hammer you in the face with a plastic hammer or throw confetti.
Not in the face, on the head.
You look down at them because they're so small and innocent looking. Before you know it, confetti in the face, whacked with a hammer. Excuse me? Am I still in Switzerland?
So next, up to you. You can read one. It's very long. Alana.
Yeah, so Alana was saying that her daughter had a new friend. Her daughter's quite young. And the mum sent her a message and suggested a play date, which she thought, oh, great idea. I'll also get to know the mum. And what transpired was the mum dropped her 4-year-old off at Alana's house and then said what time she should come back and get her. Alana was quite understandably somewhat surprised by this turn of events.
What would she have expected?
Well, I mean, I don't have a kid yet, but I imagine what you would expect to happen is that, you meet together and then the mum's chat or the dad's chat or whatever and the kids play because you don't know this person probably. So it might be a little bit unusual to leave your child with them. And I imagine it's, a play date.
Yeah.
That's my assumption.
I think the normal thing in Switzerland is if you meet up with other parents and you say like, could I drop my child for the afternoon? Then the other parent expect that you want to do something then. So you want to drop the child off and come back and get it. Otherwise you would say like, shall we do something together?
Yeah, it depends how it was arranged. Obviously, if she said, can I leave my kid with you for the afternoon, then it's clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if she said, oh, they should get together and play together, I would also think all of us.
Yeah. But I think we talked about that before. Swiss are definitely not like proactive friends makers. So it's up to you basically to make the first step and maybe say like something, I don't know.
Yeah.
If she is at your place, invite her in and she will come. Lena.
Yes. Now, this one particularly caught my eye. Lena wrote this in our group when we asked about the weirdest experiences that people have had in Switzerland. And she was saying in Rapperswil, at the end of the Fastnacht or Carnival period, the mayor throws sausages from the window of the city hall for the kids and adults who are waiting outside. And that is pretty weird. And it's also something I've experienced in a similar setting. Hence, I know all about sausages being thrown at people.
Just to say, this is just a tradition. It's not like you will walk through the streets and someone will throw a sausage at you.
It could happen, but that would be quite weird. You might ring the police. But yeah, it's a special, only for special occasions, we should say.
Yeah.
So I was at the Sechseleuten parade in Zurich quite a while ago, which is probably also something for another episode. But let's just say it's a traditional celebration. And you can kind of sit at the side of the road and people go by on horseback. And I was sitting there with my friends, and then, what do you know? They're throwing sausages at us. And I thought, what am I supposed to do with this raw sausage?
To be fair, I've never experienced that. Is it what kind? Is it the salami or is it the servola? Or
It was a servola.
okay,
But
perfect.
I didn't know back then that you could eat them raw.
Yeah, okay.
And I just thought, well, now I've got a raw sausage on my hands. I'm not planning on going directly home to put it in the fridge. So what am I supposed to do with that? It was so bizarre. Now I know I could have eaten it.
Okay, great. To sum it up, we've got a few weird traditions. Renate, she said the amount of salad dressing that goes over a salad.
Oh, yes.
Yum.
Just drowning in it. It's fine if you want to drink vinegar. I
Yeah,
sound like such an anti-Swiss person by saying all these things, but it's some of the things that I have. Some of them I haven't really grown to love yet.
Quite often we have quite a lot of salad dressing, yeah.
Yeah.
It also leads to discussions at our home.
It does.
Layla, she said apple puree with macaroni cheese. Need I say more?
Well, unless you've had it, yes, you would need to say more. So luckily I've also had this. And I had this for the first time in my work canteen. And it's not exactly macaroni cheese that I had it with, but the Alpine macaroni.
Yeah, which is the same.
Same-ish, yeah. Isn't
What's
it slightly
the-
different? Because it has chunks of potato in it.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have that. But the point of this is like a hearty meal you eat when you're going up a mountain. But obviously I had it after a morning sitting at my desk, which is very similar. And they said, do you also want the side dish of apple puree? And I thought, well, no, but yes, I'll try that weird combination. And it was quite nice.
There you go.
And it turns out you can have it with all sorts of things.
Yeah, it's a classic meal to have it with macaroni.
Macaroni. Yeah.
Alpler macaroni. How do you say that in English?
Alpine macaroni.
There you go.
Yeah, it's weird, but kind of like it. I'm quite a fan of sweet and savoury together.
Next point.
Yes.
Marina, she said one word, which is aromat.
You better explain aromat.
Aromat is a Swiss flavor. It's yum, and it belongs to every meal that exists. It's very nice. It's a combination of lots of flavors. And every Swiss person know what it is. And for example, when I traveled around the world for more than a year, the only thing I packed from Switzerland was one can of aromat. So when I was in China or in Asia or somewhere, and I had like weird flavors every day. So I put a little bit of aromat on top. I was like, oh yeah, that's nice.
A taste of home.
Yeah.
It's a little seasoning that you can shake
Yeah,
onto
it's
things.
yellow in a yellow little can.
Yeah, full of E-numbers, but delicious.
Yeah. Extremely unhealthy, probably. Fran, she said, or he, probably she.
Could be either. Probably she. She was saying she saw a group of about 40 people scattered across a field waving placards in the air while someone at one end of the field slugged something rock-like into their midst. It turns out it was, of course, a Hornnussen tournament.
She says only marginally less weird than curling. Yeah, Hornnussen, we've made a whole episode about that, so we'll link that in our show notes. Great sport.
It's a traditional Swiss sport, and it's very cool. I'd say it's much more weird than curling, actually, but much more fun looking.
Exactly. Ellie, she said seeing children barely over the age of 5 walking to school alone. We also talked about that many times. Yes, that happens quite often. Then Leslie, the schmutzli, scared the crap out of my kids.
Let's hope not literally. Yeah, Schmutzli is part of the Santa Claus tradition at the start of December. It's Santa's little scary helper who's supposed to scare the kids a bit.
Exactly, they come together. Richard?
So he was saying the night that Switzerland qualified for the 2010 World Cup, I saw a guy firing his rifle into the air from a balcony overlooking Albisrieder Platz in Zurich. So, guns and Switzerland. We should really do an episode about that because guns is, apart from the weird sausages and so on, I'd say guns is one of the weirdest things about Switzerland. And that took a lot of getting used to. Firing his gun off a balcony.
Depends what kind of gun.
It does, doesn't it? Now we know that. But when I first moved here, it was just, wow, that person's got a gun in a public place. This is a cause for major concern.
Yeah, maybe just as a side note, almost like loads of households have a gun at home from the military.
But most don't have ammunition, do they? Because it's supposed to be kept separately nowadays.
Yeah.
Unless it's like an air rifle or something.
Yeah, I mean, air rifles everyone can buy. And
Easy peasy.
yeah, but anyway, we do a different
Yes,
episode.
we'll get into
but
guns.
It's very, very, like traditional thing, and Swiss are very opinionated about guns. Let's just put it like that.
And I would just like to say, because I think the sausage receiving at the parade was the sort of funny thing, but the presence of guns in Switzerland took me a long time to get used to. Seeing people, army guys with guns on the train, or policemen with proper massive guns, or...
Weirdly enough, they're not used that often in Switzerland. And also we don't have them at home to defend ourselves or something. It's more like a traditional thing that once war starts, everyone can go and help each other.
To the hills.
Yeah.
So...
It's not as straightforward as that, but that's at least the theory.
Yeah. And basically, I think that was one of the weirdest things I ever saw in Switzerland. Was most of these things also happened quite early on when I moved here. I was in...
Maybe you just don't notice anymore.
Yeah, it's probably true. I was in Rapperswil, and I heard a gunshot, and then I saw quite an old man who was shooting pigeons off the roof of a church there. And I just thought, what?
There you go. Let's not talk about any further about that. Sarah, she said she was at the Olma, which is an agriculture event in St. Gallen. It's very famous. And the highlight was a pig race, and the pigs all had IKEA vests.
I mean, a pig race would have been, weird enough, but the pigs wearing IKEA vests.
I can highly recommend to go to the Olma or to the Bea in Bern. It's quite fun.
It's
funny
really
to see.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
These agriculture events are awesome.
Then Sarah, she said...
She said, eating a sausage with one hand and the little bread roll in the other. It's the best way to eat the St. Gallen Wurst.
That's completely true.
Well, yes and no.
It is the best way.
A few days ago, I had a hot dog in a Swiss bun, which, as people who live in Switzerland know, means that the sausage hung out both ends of the roll.
No, one end.
Well,
a roll,
it depends.
Usually it's like a baguette and it goes on top in.
True, but if you have one of these round rolls,
yes, but that's
then probably
not
put
the
the
real...
sausage in, it hangs out both ends.
But that's...
Exactly, which is just wrong. You want the sausage to fill the baguette or the bun.
Yeah.
You don't want it to hang out. And here it's, you eat a sausage with one hand and then you just separately bite the bread roll. It's like a deconstructed sandwich.
But here she's talking about a St. Galler Wurst. I assume it's a bratwurst.
Yeah, it is.
So that goes completely separate.
Exactly.
You
Which is weird.
Never put that into something.
Well, I've certainly tried.
Anyway, usually if you go to a
sausage stand.
No, to a Marit or whatever it is. They will sell sausage and bread.
Yeah.
Together with a bit of mustard.
I'm happy to embrace that with ketchup, but let's be honest, it's best to have the sausage in the bun. And there you go, Switzerland, you are offended.
Don't say weird.
Thank you very much.
Great. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty more weird things to be found, hopefully, in this life of living in Switzerland, but sausages, buns, guns... Yeah. Animals in weird clothes. They're some of the main things.
Probably you haven't learned much today, but at least...
I think we may have tickled your fancy to experience some more weird things in Switzerland.
Great. So that was it for today. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, which is called Switzerland for English Speakers. And thanks a lot for listening.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye.